Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for being here in this late session. Uh, I will be talking to you about physiotherapy and the Division of Physiotherapy and what we expect when you come into our division. I hope that you've attended the sessions previously with the deans because they must have convinced you to come to UCT. So just for this afternoon's program, I'll be telling you what physiotherapy is, and then we will take a look at what the course looks like at UCT, and then I have a few of my colleagues that will share opportunities within physiotherapy with you, and some of our students will talk to you about their experience. So what is physiotherapy? According to the Oxford Dictionary, the physiotherapy is the treatment of disease, injury, or deformity by physical methods such as massage, heat treatment, and exercise rather than by drugs or surgery. A continuation of that definition of physiotherapy by the South African Society of Physiotherapy states that it is to allow people to achieve the highest possible level of independence in their lives and also promoting community health for all age groups. The Chartered Society of Physiotherapy that is in the UK also says that it is helping patients to manage pain and to prevent diseases. So what do we want you to be when after your training at UCT within physiotherapy? The Deputy Dean, Dr. Karen Begg, referred to this earlier as how we teach or what your competencies or attributes should be. So we want you to be a professional physiotherapist within the context of our country and also be able to work abroad if you can, be able to communicate not just with your fellow health professionals, but also communicate appropriately with your patients. You will collaborate with health professionals to ensure the best outcomes for your patients, and then also be a leader within the profession. Most of all, you need to be able to advocate for health amongst community members and patients, and then also be a scholar, which means you will continue to learn about physiotherapy and the benefits of physiotherapy and do research within the places that you are working. We primarily focus within 4 main areas within our program, and that is within sports rehabilitation, cardiopulmonary rehabilitation, pediatric neurology, adult neurology, which will focus on head injuries, strokes, and traumatic brain injuries. All of these are located within a community-oriented approach as well as the primary healthcare approach. So in brief, the program is a 4-year degree where in the first 2 years of the course, we provide you with the foundations such as anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, and also the interprofessional course that you heard about earlier in the Dean's talk. In your last 2 years, your 3rd and 4th year, you start focusing on profession-specific developments with clinical exposure in courses such as neurology, cardiopulmonary rehabilitation, musculoskeletal physiotherapy, and also preparing you for working in both the public and private sector. The final year of our program is equivalent to an honors qualification, which means you will do research in your final year where you would select projects of interest to you that you can expand on, possibly going into postgraduate studies such as a master's and a PhD. The scope of practice is determined by the Health Professions Council of South Africa, but the scope of practice is quite extensive, and work opportunity is really in all sectors. You can open up a private practice, you work in hospitals, clinics, schools, care for the elderly facilities, rehabilitation centres, and even industry. And in industry, the focus is on facilitating returning to work. So what does it require of you to enter our program? It is really important that you are committed, that you are resilient, that you have a passion for working with people, and that you are able to adapt. It is really, I think the others will share with you more on the opportunities within physiotherapy, but I don't think there is a greater satisfaction that you can get when working with somebody after a stroke and you see them in acute stages in hospital, and then you can work with them through rehabilitation and actually watch them walk out of the clinic. Or somebody coming in with a lower back pain, unable to do anything, and after you've worked with them, they are able to stand up straight and function normally. It is an extremely rewarding career. So now I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Ken Kabango, who will tell you a little bit more about opportunities within the profession. Over to you, Ken.
My talk's going to be about opportunities in physiotherapy through my personal journey. My name is Ken Kabongo, and I'm a clinical educator at UCT. So my journey began as a first-year student in 2013 at UCT, where there were plenty of opportunities to network with various stakeholders. The first opportunity to make a difference was through the Shoko Health Initiative, which is a UCT-affiliated NGO, and students are provide health services to disadvantaged communities within the Western Cape under the supervision of health professionals. And if you're into sports, the slides I'm going through. Yeah, so that's the Shoko. So if you're into sports, you have various opportunities to work with various sporting teams like the Ike Tigers, where you work under qualified physios who give you opportunities to better your knowledge in sports rehab. And then you get other opportunities like working at the Cape Town Cycle Tour. And another opportunity is working at the Two Oceans Marathon, where you work under qualified physios and provide services to the cyclists and the runners. Fast forward to 2017, for my community service year, I was placed at Alexandra Clinic Hospital in Johannesburg. And I was the only physiotherapist for the community, which had a population of 200,000 people. My experience at UCT helped me provide services to this community. My services at this clinic range from insurance work, doing disability claims, to doing community work such as home visits, which is a priority at UCT. So it puts you at an advantage when you go out there in the community. My networking opportunities continued in 2018, where I enrolled to do my master's in sports and exercise physiotherapy. This was another opportunity to engage different stakeholders, and I got the opportunity to work with SA Rugby, Ajax Cape Town, and in addition, I was able to open my own physiotherapy practice in 2019. This was made easier as you get training during your undergrad program and postgrad program on becoming a better health professional, and this aids you when opening up your own practice and doing business with various stakeholders. So all these experiences culminated in me being employed as a staff member, as a clinical educator in the physiotherapy department, and enabled me to join the academic side of physiotherapy. Through my presentation, you can see I created many of my opportunities by myself, but some of these opportunities were given to me through my network with UCT. And finally, this year, I was privileged enough to be awarded or be selected as one of the top 200 young South Africans through the Mail and Guardian. And this is all through my networking with UCT, taking my opportunities and getting to work with various stakeholders. So as a physio, it's important to always try shadow all the physios who can give you an advantage in the working world when you leave UCT. Thank you, and I'll be passing over to Mark, who will also talk about other opportunities in physiotherapy.
Okay, we're going to hand over to Jamie, who is one of our current students, to share his experiences in the program. Welcome, Jamie.
My name is Jamie. I'm a current fourth year physiotherapy student at UCT. Got 7 weeks to go, so final push. So I've just been asked to talk about my experiences of being a student doing physiotherapy at UCT and the opportunities that it's given me to sort of advance in the direction that I want to go into, which is sport in particular. So I'm currently coaching a rugby team now. I've been doing it for 4 years, and even though I'm not able to practice physiotherapy as a student, it really has taught me a lot in terms of just being part of a sports team and understanding the role of a physio within a sports team. UCT does offer strapping courses, which I've attended. These have both been in lectures as part of sort of coursework, and also the UCT connection with the rugby club is quite strong. So the rugby club offers a strapping clinic, which I attended, and this helped me a lot in terms of being able to practice strapping on the players that I've been coaching. I've also been shadowing a physio at the school that I've been coaching at. Learning about sort of on-field physio management, pre-season screening, and just sort of the role of a physio in a team. UCT Rugby Club also does a pre-season screening session where they look at sort of different muscular tests and movement analysis of players, and they get the students involved in that to come and help, which is really nice, just so you can understand the role that a physio plays within a sports team. Otherwise, everything's been really great. UCT's opened up a lot of doors for me. There's a lot of directions you can take and choose, but sport is the one that I want to move forward in. So UCT do offer a master's program as a postgraduate degree, which I would like to be enrolled in next year. But yeah, otherwise, those are the opportunities that's been opened up for me, and yeah, it's been great.
Nida is one of our postgraduate students, and she's also going to share her experiences of being in the division. Welcome, Nida.
Hi, how's everyone doing tonight? Firstly, I just want to thank UCT for kind of giving me this opportunity to chat and kind of explain my experience of being a student at UCT. So I'm just going to introduce myself. I completed my undergrad in 2016, and I am currently in my third and hopefully my final year doing my master's in exercise physiology and sports physiotherapy. I'm a full-time clinician with the Megan Chetty physiotherapy practice based at Bishops. I'm the head physiotherapist at False Bay Rugby Club, as well as with the Western Province Tornadoes, which is a netball team. And I'm also on the medical committee for the Western Cape South African Football Association. So what I'm just going to do is just break down kind of why I became a physio and how UCT has really helped me and guided me into being the physio that I am, and how they've given me opportunities to kind of flourish in this field. So I'm just going to go back to kind of when my dream of being a physiotherapist started. And it started when I was I watched my first Springbok games. Springboks was playing England, and for those full 80 minutes I was watching, not the game, but I was watching the physiotherapist running along the touchline. And she was amazing. You know, she was so confident and surrounded by all these massive players and kind of calling the shots and dictating things. And I just thought that was amazing and really inspiring. And so that was always in the back of my mind. That's what I wanted to do. It involved sport, my love for sport, and I didn't have to be in an office, and I thought, this is the career for me. But, you know, things go on, and I went into matric, and I can only imagine that you guys must be feeling the exact same thing. But, you know, I got accepted into engineering and physiotherapy, and you kind of think, well, what do I want to do? And everyone starts giving their 2 cents and telling you, you need to do this, you need to do that, and this is what's going to earn you a lot of money, and this is what's going to make you happy. And I actually ended up choosing engineering. And I remember going to my first lecture. It was about bridges, and I had no passion about a bridge. I did not like. It was just so boring to me, and I realized I made a massive mistake. And I went down to the dean's office at medical campus and begged for my spot back. And thankfully, I got it back, and I never turned back at all. I was so happy with the change. So the one thing I learned was kind of do what you're passionate about, do what makes you happy, because you will find success in that. So when I got to UCT and did my undergrad course, I loved every aspect of physiotherapy. I knew I wanted to go into sport, and I didn't actually realize how vast the field was. You know, you worked in the hospitals in various different departments, and I really enjoyed every aspect. I remember coming home and saying, oh, I could be a pediatric physio or an orthopedic physio. Every kind of 6 weeks it changed with my blocks. The second thing I loved about physiotherapy was how practical it was. I was not an academic. I didn't test well, but I did well in the practical side of things. And physio in the kind of the last 2 years really became practical. So I flourished in that, and I really did well there. So if you are a practical learner and you like health and you like fixing people, well, physio is really something you should look into. The third thing I loved about the faculty and kind of the department was how small it was. You know, you had 60 people in your class, you kind of knew everyone, you grew with them over the 4 years, and you really could speak to your lecturers. You could tell them if you're going through something difficult or you didn't understand something. It wasn't like you were one of 300 in a class and felt kind of intimidated to ask a question or say you don't understand. And also it felt this kind of relationship you could develop with any of your lecturers or supervisors. You could chat to them at any point, even after once you had graduated. I remember messaging my one of my supervisors and asking her for advice, and she just kind of jumped in and helped me. And the last thing for me, which was really important, was the continuation of sport. I played high-level sport through my 4 years, and UCT not once told me, or the physiotherapy department didn't once tell me, you can't do your sport, you need to focus on academics. They made it work for me, which was so important. I mean, I missed 3 weeks in my third year to go play World Cup overseas, and they completely changed my second term to allow me that opportunity. And I think that doesn't always happen, and that was really a big game changer for me. They still allowed me to have my opportunities outside of the course, knowing that obviously exercise is a major part and sport's a big thing for me. So they still gave me that opportunity. So once I had graduated, me not being an academic, thought I will never come back and do my master's. That's for smart people and people that want to be researchers. And 6 months later, being a clinician, you realize you don't know everything. And you realize that there's a lot of questions you kind of want to answer about the population that you're in. And I had a great opportunity to work with young, talented athletes, elite athletes that live in underprivileged areas. And there was a lot of questions that kind of came up, and I wasn't too sure how to answer them. And there wasn't kind of research. There was a kind of gap in the research. And I then went back to my supervisors, and I went back to my lecturers, and I asked them for their opinion. You know, what do they think? And they said, well, come back. And I said, I'm not the greatest writer. I'm not the greatest researcher. I'm not good enough to do a master's. And they said, don't be silly. Come back. You'll be great. And it's really been a great, amazing 3 years. I met my business partner, Megan, which I never would have met. And I'm now doing a thesis that's going to help me answer those questions that I was asking 3 years ago when I worked with that group of kids. So, you know, for many years, I've really, I mean, of course, I want to be a Springbok physio one day or an elite physio one day. But I think it also, as you grow through the process, you realize that physio is more than just being on the field. You know, you have that opportunity to actually make a difference in a group, and you have such an influence over the patients that you treat on a daily basis. And it's more, so you're more than just a health professional, but you actually, yeah, you just can give so much to the community. And I think through research, it's not such a scary pull for me anymore. It's actually quite exciting. And yeah, you can kind of help a lot more people than what I anticipated with the degree. And I can do a lot more with my degree than just be a clinician. I can be a business owner, a researcher. Yeah, it's just opened up so many doors that I never anticipated to open up. So it's been such a great journey. I'm really glad I did not do engineering. So yeah, good luck. I hope you do choose physio, and if you do, UCT is the option. It is the only option.
Thank you very much, Neda. I am sure that you have convinced them to come. So we're looking forward to seeing them and following in your footsteps. You are muted.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Soraya. Thank you to the team for being here, especially to our students, Nida and Jamie. Thank you for sharing with our guests. And congratulations to all the potential students, UCT students who are here on getting your conditional offer. I hope we've all convinced you that UCT or studying physiotherapy at UCT is the place to be. I'd like to wish you all the best for your final matric exams. And we really, really look forward to welcoming you in the new year to start off the physiotherapy program with us all. All the best to everyone. If there's no questions, okay, then I think we can say thank you very much once again to everyone. If there are questions, I think there is an email address that you can send your questions to, or if you get onto the UCT website, there is an email address directly to our department or to our Division of Physiotherapy. Please feel free to use that and send us your questions if there's anything we can assist you with. All the best, everyone, and thank you all for being here at this late hour. Thank you.